Paul Dirac was one of the most famous scientists of the 20th century. He was a very quiet man who remained merry in his own company, but suffered agonies if forced into any kind of socializing or small talk. So much so that his colleagues at Cambridge University jokingly defined a unit of speech called Dirac, which meant 1 word per hour. In 1929, Dirac and Heisenberg were going on a ship to Japan to attend an annual science conference there. Werner Heisenberg, who happened to be quite a ladies' man, used to dance with the young girls before dinners, whereas Dirac used to sit and observe them from a distance. One evening, he asked Heisenberg, "Why do you dance?" "Well, when there are nice girls dancing with them is a pleasure." "How do you know beforehand that the girls are nice?" Heisenberg burst out laughing and said, "Are you serious?" Once Dirac and Bohr were seated in the same room, Niels Bohr, who was known for being a perfectionist, was writing a scientific paper while mumbling at the same time. As was his habit, after some time Bohr became really frustrated and stopped, and he complained, "I do not know how to finish this damn sentence." Dirac retorted, "I was taught at school, never start a sentence without knowing the end of it." Dirac said it with such a straight face. Later Bohr went on to comment, "Dirac was the strangest man who ever visited my institute." Dirac and Oppenheimer spent some time together. In Göttingen, the two young scientists had become good friends. On one of these days, Dirac noticed that Oppenheimer wrote poetry. Dirac asserted, "I do not understand how a man can work on the frontiers of physics and write poetry at the same time." "Why not?" Oppenheimer asked. "In physics, you want to say something that nobody knew before, in words that everyone can understand. In poetry, it's the exact opposite." Oppenheimer, unable to comprehend, stayed quiet. His comments would strike people as odd at first, but they would quickly realize that Dirac made perfect logical sense. In 1932, during one lecture, a student raised his hand and said, "I don't understand that equation," on the top right-hand corner of the blackboard. Professor Dirac simply nodded his head in agreement. The student asked the question again, but he continued unabated. He expressed puzzlement because he thought the student had simply uttered a fact and not asked a question.